Hi, everybody. It's me, Cassie. I am just here to teach you something else fun with sketches. So I want to make sure that everybody saw that there is a fun little thing happening tomorrow. There are some Halloween things coming out, and you're probably going to want to jump on those if you want them. They're just a special little trick or treat that Creative Memories put out there. And I posted it in my group today, and hopefully you've seen it somewhere along the way. It will go live at 1 o'clock tomorrow. I am still awaiting for my call to serve papers to come. Last weekend, I got to watch my baby girl get sworn into the Foreign Service. And at the same time, on the exact same day, Creative Memories came out with the call to serve collection. And so, of course, they did that just for me, right? So anyway, thank you for being here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So let's just get over to my desktop. Okay. I am really excited to do this today. First of all, I often get asked what happens when I'm in the middle of a Fast2Fab album and the page doesn't work. So that's where I'm at right now. You know, I've been teaching you guys things in the actual albums that I'm working on, which has been really exciting for me because I get to show you guys stuff and then I get to have completed pages, and that is one of my goals for this year. So this is my next page, and it just does not work for what I'm going to use. And so it's very simple. All you have to do is cover up the pages that you're going to work on with a different background paper. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on a sketch just on a background paper, and I'm going to tape it down to my page, and voila, problem solved. And then when I turn the page, I'll be right back to my Fast2Fab album. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you have not seen these really awesome sketches before, this is something that you can get from your advisor. So I give them out at my crops, and I put them in people's orders. I love sketch challenges. I use them a lot. And so I like to make sure that people have them. So if you do not have them and you do not have an advisor, then you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to any advisor, but your person should be able to help you. So this right here is what a sketch would look like. It just gives you some ideas of what you're going to cut. And we've even gone so far as to start giving you the actual sizes. So I'm going to flip into here, and we're going to work on this sketch right here. And so during the process of doing the sketch, I'm going to show you some really simple techniques that will work really well. So as you see, this tells you to cut an 11 by 11 piece of paper and put it down in the center. I'm going to switch it up a little bit to save you paper, so you're going to see that along the way. And I'm also going to teach you how to do some fun stuff in these corners. So let's go ahead and get started. I have these really cute square dance pictures. This is my husband and I. And we love to square dance. And in fact, we actually square danced in the pool. So we got our aqua dangle, which is a little dangle that goes on our badge. And it says that we square danced right in the pool. So, so these pictures are going to go on the matching page, and these ones are going to go on this page. Now, if anybody was ever wondering why I married my amazing husband, right here, this explains it. Here he is sewing his own shirt. So you gotta love that. Okay, so let's get going. We want to do this frame on the sketch. And this just says to cut an 11 by 11 sheet and center it. And that is one way to do it. But I'm actually going to build on the paper that I'm going to use back there. And I'm going to come over here to my handy dandy folder, and I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to use this because it's going across the double page spread. And if you look, my dress has these cute little dots, and I thought that would just be adorable. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to cut a 1-inch frame using my trimmer. And this trimmer is magical. It will allow you to do all of these great things. So we're going to cut a 1-inch frame, and then I'm going to have this 11 by 11 sheet of paper that I can use on the opposite page if I want to, or I can use it to mat, or I can use it for whatever I want, but it gives me a lot more paper to use. So if you have not used the trimmer before, something you should know is that between the white line and the front of the trimmer is exactly 1 inch. And the reason that's an important thing to know is if you're like me and you look top down, then this is starting at 1 inch, but really it's at 0. So the cut line is at 0, the front is at 1 inch. So you just have to always remember when you're cutting that the front is 1 inch away from that. So I'm going to measure over to 1 inch, And I'm going to start the cutting at 1 inch. So I'm going to bring the front to 2 inches, which is going to put my cut line at 1 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it straight down the page. And I'm going to stop when the front is at 12, because that means that my line is at 11. And then I just have to rotate it. And this gives you a quick and easy way to get this frame. So same thing, bring it down to the 2, bring my front down to the 12, which stops me at the 11, rotate. And this is how you make a frame. So you just do it the same way for any size. You would just add 1 inch to where you want to start cutting. So I'm starting at the 2, the cut line's at the 1, coming down to the 12, it stops at the 11. But if I wanted to make a 1.5 inch frame, not a big deal. I'd start at 2.5, and then I would bring the front down to 11.5. Same thing, easy peasy. So there we go. We have cut this perfect frame, and I have this sheet of paper that I can use for something else. So I like to teach techniques while I'm teaching. I hope that works for you guys. So now we're looking at the sketch, and voila, we need a frame to go on here. And it's just going to save you some paper, right? I mean, who doesn't like to save paper? In all honesty, I know where to get lots more of it. So not a big deal if I did use all the paper, but it just makes more sense to me. Plus, it makes my album a little less heavy, right? Okay. Bring this over. My good friend Kim told me the other day that I say right a lot while I'm teaching. So I just realized I was saying it a lot just now. Don't think I can stop saying it, but I'll try. Maybe you guys could turn it into a drinking game. Every time Cassie says right, you could have, a drink. Okay. So we did the 1 inch frame, and now we're going to do this cute little technique in the corner. And this is going to be so easy peasy. What we're going to do is take that inside that we just cut out, and I'm going to make myself a 4 inch square. So I measured over to the 4. I'm going to bring the front of this down to the 5. That means I stopped at the 4. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to bring it over to the 4. And then I'm just going to bring this down to the cut line, and I got my 4 inches out of there. And the reason I do it that way is who knows what I want to do with the rest of this paper, right? It gives me the most options of what to do. Now I'm going to use a frame punch. Now frame punches are a lot of fun. I'm actually going to cut right on my paper so that I don't have as many crumbs all over the place. Oh, you know what? I grabbed the wrong punch, guys. Give me 1 second. Silly me. Sometimes that happens, right? Okay, so a frame punch is any of the ones that have the silver line right here. And that just shows you that you can go around just around the edges. And the thing that you need to know is that it always has to be an even number, because the cut place is between these black lines, and that's 2 inches. So you need it to be even, otherwise you're going to overlap at some point. But when you're doing it with a 4 inch square, just super simple, you're going to put it in and you bring it to the silver line on both sides so it's perfectly centered, and you punch. And then you just move completely around doing the little spots. Just keep going around. You get these little tiny squares that come out of the corners. And easy peasy, you have a little frame punch. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is grab my simple sleeve that has all different blues in it. And I just need a piece that I can cut a circle out of. So I think this might be big enough, maybe. I want to use the smallest one on the outside. So that's not quite big enough. This should do it. It'll be cutting it close. So let's see what happens whenever you cut it close. That's always fun. If I cut it too close, I know where to get more paper. Okay, So we're going to open it up. And if you've never used our custom cutting system before, it really is incredible. There are 3 different blades, red, green, and blue. Each one is an 1/8 of an inch difference away from the little nubs. The little nubs go right in here. The blade goes on the paper. And that way you can make double mats and triple mats using your blades and the paper. I mean, the blades using the different size blades. So we're going to put this down. We're going to take our little nubs. We're going to put them in the little spot. And then we're just going to move around the paper. And I think I chose a piece of paper that it was exactly the right size. Look at that. I'm brilliant some days. Okay. So there we go. We have our circle. And now we can take this and we're going to center it on our circle. And we could have done this with any frame punch. And I think I might actually want this to be a little bit smaller, guys. I'll be honest, I think it would look better a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to take and cut this down a little tiny bit. I'm going to go with the red blade. That's a great thing about scrapbooking. You know, if you look at it and you're like, I think I'd like it a little bit better this way, go for it. Do it. Super fun. Okay. So there we go. That way we don't have quite so much glue going out. And now, I don't know if you know this, but anytime that you put your circle right up against the top like this, then it's going to cut it right in half. So we're going to cut that in half. Then we're just going to take and we're going to put the circle part up against it again. And that's going to cut it in half again. Same thing one more time. Super simple. And now we have these 4 pieces. And we can come back over to our page and see this is the little fun things in the corners. So we're just going to take these little pieces and they're going to go right up in the corners. I just think this gives it a super fun look, especially using the same color as the border part. I thought that just added a little bit of fun to it. We could have used something different if we wanted to. Hello, hello. Who's that said hello to me? Is that my Karen? Okay, so we have our corners. And just so that you guys know, I can't always see who is talking to me on the chat. So if you just tell me who you are, then I can say hi. Okay, so I'm just going to take my pictures and I'm just putting them down approximately the way they did. And I'm actually going to move this over a little bit because I like that beach ball there. And I'm going to map my pictures. That's funny. I guessed who it was. I guessed who it was based on your tone. I love it. Okay, and I'm going to map my pictures. So this picture, I think this one is 5.5. No, it's 4 by 6. This is 4 by 6. This is 5.5 by 3.5, and this is 4 3/4 by 4. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Or no, sorry, 6 1/4, because 4 1/4, 6 1/4 is going to look best. There we go. So that picture will get matted. And then this next picture will be 5.5. So we need 5 3/4 by 3.5. So 3 3/4. And I just go up by 1/4 of an inch when I'm matting, and it gives me a nice 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Different people like different sizes. Let's see. And sometimes I do this. Look at this. So this is 4 inches. So I'm going to make this 3 3/4. This picture, because then I can use up this piece of cardstock, and it's not going to hurt anything, right? I just took that little bit off the picture, and now I can do 5 inches this way, and I can use that last little bit of cardstock. It's kind of a little cheater's way to use up exactly what I have on hand. So So if it's not going to affect it in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and do something like that. So now I'm going to just get these pictures matted. And so now we've learned 2 fun techniques. We put together a sketch page. And I got another page done in my album. I call this a really good night. I hope you call it a really good night too. Next week, I am hoping that my pictures of Adriana's ceremony are here and my call to serve is here. And then I'm going to show you some fun stuff with baby girl's swearing in ceremony. So I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to go ahead and put this here. I'll tell you what, I just have so much fun with this guy. Let's see, I think I'm going to move this over a little bit. And then when you're putting them down, you know, if you use repositionable tape, you can just have fun with it and decide where you want things to go. And this is going to go down. Remember, I don't want to cover up my beach ball. I think that would look better like that if it wasn't for the beach ball. I'm keeping my beach ball there, guys. I just can't cover it up. Just can't do it. Okay, page is done. Easy peasy. So get out your sketchbooks, have fun with them, and remember that all the different little techniques, you can find different ways to do them, and we will be back next week with another technique. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here.